Good morning children. Today we are going to see history chapter 10, India after independence. Okay. See children, the previous chapter, the making of the national movement, actually deletion portion, but let me tell you a brief introduction of national movement. Okay. See, already we have read about the revolt of 1857, isn't it? Yes. So, after the revolt of 1857, people of India became determined to root out British rule from the country. However, we had to remove British rule. So, that kind of determination all over the nation people had. So, this awareness spread among them. Then they started to protest against Britishers. Then the nation, after some kind of revolt, especially after the revolt of 1857, here and there some revolt occurred. Then the need for an all India organization of educated Indians had been felt since 1880. So finally in 1885 the Indian National Congress came into being. So the after the Indian National Congress raised several economic issues. See, some leaders in the Congress such as Bipin Chandrapal, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, then Lala Lajpati Rai, they demanded Purna Swaraj. Okay, especially Bal Gangadhar Tilak raised the slogan, "Freedom of is my birthright and I shall have it." So, சுதந்திரம் எனது பிறப்புரிமை அதை அடைந்தே தீருவேன் அப்படிங்கிற அந்த ஸ்லோகம் was said by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay, and in this way the freedom movement was going on. Then in 1905 Bengal, the biggest province of British India, actually at present Bihar also included the part of Bengal. Not only Bihar, Orissa also was the part of Bengal, and it was divided by Viceroy Curzon. That time Lord Curzon was the Governor General of India, so he divided the Bengal. So this led to the birth of Swadeshi movement, which boycotted British institutions and goods. Boycottna புறக்கணிக்கிறது. ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு அந்த பெங்கால் பிரிவினை அவங்களுக்கு பிடிக்கவே இல்லை. ஸோ காங்கிரஸ் leaders opposed this partition of Bengal. Okay, in this way national movement vigorously spread all over the nation. Then in the year 1915 Gandhiji returned from South Africa and he saw the situation of people of India, how they were suffering, and under the British rule how they are suffering. So that Gandhiji decided that to fight against British. And also he saw the caste religion system affected people very badly. This socially also here people were suffering a lot because of this untouchability and all practiced by high class people. That also Gandhiji didn't like it. So after Mahatma Gandhi came to India, and after he took part in freedom movement, Mahatma Gandhi emerged as a mass leader. அவர் வந்து ஒரு பெரிய லீடராக வராரு. Because in 1919 Gandhiji started Satyagraha movement. Then have you heard about Jallianwala Bagh massacre? See, those time British wanted to control over the people, so they passed Rowlatt Act. This, according to this act, what will happen, without any investigation people will be punished if the government thinks, அதாவது அந்த பீப்புள் வந்து ஆன்டி நேஷ்னல், அவங்க வந்து கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு எகென்ஸ்டாக பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு சொல்லி யாரையெல்லாம் சஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணுறாங்களோ தே வில் பி அரெஸ்டட் பை த போலீஸ் வித்தவுட் என்கொயரி, வித்தவுட் ட்ரையல். எந்த கேஸும் போட மாட்டாங்க, இம்மீடியட்டாக ப்ரிசனில் போட்டு ஜெயிலில் போட்டுருவாங்க. அந்த ஆக்ட் வந்து ரவுலட் ஆக்ட். But after the British passed Rowlatt Act, people strongly opposed the Rowlatt Act. In fact, Gandhiji launched non-cooperation movement. And also in the year there were a number of demonstrations and hartals in the country against this act. நிறைய ஸ்ட்ரைக்கு பந்த் எல்லா இடங்கள்லையும் கடைகள்லாம் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி அவங்களோட எதிர்ப்பை தெரிவிச்சிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. In this way, Jallianwala Bagh is a place. It is in Punjab, Amritsar. It is on this ground. Jallianwala Bagh as a ground. It is in Amritsar. Amritsar is in Punjab, right? There was a mosque meeting, and in the year 1919 this meeting held, but what happened, without any information, Punjab Governor General Wood Dyer immediately came with his police force, and he started to firing. So what happened, because 3 exits that on the door ellame on the exit agara on the doors ellam close panni, they were not able to escape from that place. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷனை க்ரியேட் பண்ணி ஜெனரல் ஓ டயர் gave an order to shoot them. So many people died and many people got injured. So that is called Jallianwala Bagh massacre. It is தமிழில் சொல்லணும்னா ஜாலியன்வாலா பாக் படுகொலைன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So it happened in 1919. So people in India, all over the nation, people got so angry, they showed their opposition to the British. Okay. Then in the year 1921 to 22, the non-cooperation movement was launched by Gandhiji. According to this non-cooperation movement, people were asked to not obey the British rule. For example, they were asked to boycott government office, then to avoid using British products and all. Okay. But in the year 1922, Chauri Chaura, a place is located in Uttar Pradesh. There argument came between the agitators and the police. Then finally there was a problem. Then the mob, the crowd, the agitators fired the police station. There nearly 22 policemen were killed on that day. So it hurt Mahatma Gandhi, because he had never thought that people would go violent. He always wished to drive away the British by non-violent methods. Yeah, because Gandhiji followed ahimsa and non-violence methods only. Right? So Gandhiji hurt a lot, so he withdrew the non-cooperation movement. Okay. Then in the year 1929, the Indian National Congress demanded Purna Swaraj. And then after that, Gandhiji launched civil disobedience movement, அதாவது சட்ட மறுப்பு இயக்கம். According to this civil disobedience movement, Gandhiji started Dandi March, Ubbu Satyagraham, because those time Indians were not allowed to produce salt from the sea water. We had to buy in a high price, because British only had the right to produce salt. So Gandhiji wanted to violate this law, so he declared Dandi March. Mahatma Gandhi and his followers started their march from Sabarmati Ashrama to Dandi. It is in coastal area of Gujarat. Then Gandhiji and his supporters were arrested. In this way, freedom movement went vigorously. Okay. Then in the year 1942, Quit India movement was started by under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. So as a result, prominent leaders were jailed at once, but the movement spread all over India. So in between these movements, the Muslim League began to demand independent states for Muslims in the northwestern and eastern areas of the country. Mahatma Gandhi was not in favor of this. ஸோ முஸ்லீம் லீக்னு ஒன்று ஆரம்பித்து முஸ்லீம்கான முகமது அலி ஜின்னா, சவுக்கத் அலி, இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராமினென்ட் லீடர்ஸ் அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுறாங்கன்னா, எப்படி இந்துக்களுக்கு இந்தியா இருக்கோ அது மாதிரி முஸ்லீம்களுக்கு எங்களுக்கு ஒரு தனி நாடு வேணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு டிமாண்டை வைக்கிறாங்க. So the Muslim League began to think that Muslims were a minority and they would always have to play second fiddle in any democratic structure. So Muslim League demanded a separate nation for Muslims. Okay, so in 1945 the British opened negotiations between the Congress and the Muslim League for the independence of India. So in the Madri freedom movement finally the British thought that okay, now hereafter we can't rule over India because freedom movement is vigorously going on, so better we will give them freedom. So for the பேச்சுவார்த்தைக்கு கூப்பிடுறாங்க. Indian National Congress and the Muslim League took part in this negotiation. So in March 1946 the British cabinet sent a 3-member mission to Delhi to examine the League's demand for Pakistan and to suggest a suitable political framework for free India. So in 1946 cabinet mission சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு 3 members இருக்கிற ஒரு group அனுப்பி, so you examine the status, what was the situation over there, how to clear this problem அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக அனுப்புகிறாங்க பிரிட்டிஷ் பார்லிமெண்ட் லண்டன்ல இருந்து. The mission suggested that India should remain united and constitute itself as a loose confederation with some autonomy for Muslim majority areas. Neither the Congress nor the League agreed to it. Now partition of India became inevitable. இது வந்து ஒரு தவிர்க்க முடியாததாயிருச்சு. இது India Pakistan partition. Okay, finally Pakistan came into existence. So the violence of partition shook both the newly independent countries, India and Pakistan. Okay, so India Pakistan partition ரெண்டு கண்ட்ரிக்குமே ஒரு பெரிய அவங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப ப்ராப்ளமாக இருந்துச்சு. இந்த வயலண்ட் ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ் எல்லாம் நடந்ததால் ரொம்பவே அஃபெக்ட் ஆகிடுச்சு. ஓகே, ஸோ நவ் we are going to discuss about India after independence. Okay, so in which year India got independence? 1947 August 15th, isn't it? Yes, but partition of India created a number of problems for independent India. See, first and foremost task was to rehabilitate the refugees who had come into the country from the newly born Pakistan. Okay, ஸோ ரீஹேபிலியேட் பண்ணுறது அப்படின்னா அவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் புது வாழ்வு அளிக்கிறது. இட் மீன் ரெஃப்யூஜியாக அகதிகளாக பாகிஸ்தான்லேருந்து இந்தியாவுக்குள்ளே வந்த மக்களுக்கு அவங்களுக்கு தேவையான அடிப்படை வசதிகள், பேசிக் நீட்ஸ் எல்லாம் எப்படி பண்ணி கொடுக்கறது அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு பெரிய ப்ராப்ளமாக இருந்தது. தென் தேர் வாஸ் அ ப்ராப்ளம் ஆஃப் த princely states. See, there were so many princely states, but maximum of princely states were annexed with the Indian Union, but some princely states were not interested to work with India. So that also was the major problem. So immediate tasks after the independence were rehabilitating refugees, then integration of princely states, then identifying a national language, then reorganization of states, then at last planning for economic development. These were the prime tasks which were taken care by the government. Okay, so in this way we saw about rehabilitating refugees, then integration of princely states, isn't it? Yes, so this problem was tackled by the creation of a rehabilitation ministry. Then as an immediate solution, relief camps were opened and food was distributed to the refugees. Then new townships and colonies were developed to resettle them. Okay, and also financial help was provided in various ways to rehabilitate the refugees. Okay. At the same time, integration of princely states, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel accomplished this task, who was India's first home minister. Okay, so through his instrument of accession, he persuaded most states, even which those wanted to remain independent, but at last he made all the princely states to join the Indian Union. Okay. Then in 1947, India's population was large. In fact, there were almost 345 million people. So they were divided into various castes and religions. So their language was different, and so were their food habits also. It was not an easy thing to make them live together in one nation state. Not only this, there was a need for development also. So we know very well, India is a diverse country. It is a multilingual country. In fact, here nearly 179 languages and 544 dialects are spoken. So, as such, no language could be given the status of national language by the constitution makers. Although the question of a national language was important for them, Hindi was identified as the official language, but was not imposed on all the states, as it was spoken only by about 40% of the population. So, with the formation of linguistic states in India, regional languages were also to be recognized. Okay. You know, children, a vast majority of Indians lived in the villages, right? Yes or no? Yes. So, farmers and peasants depended on the monsoon for their survival. Yes, at present also agriculture maximum depending on monsoon, right? So, did the non-farm sector of the rural economy, for example, if the crop failed, the barbers, carpenters and weavers were not paid for their services, isn't it? Yes, in cities the factory workers lived in the slum areas which were crowded and unhealthy. So, there was no access to education. Yes? So, unity and development had to go hand in hand, because if there was no unity among different sections of society, it could result in costly conflicts, like high caste fighting with low caste, Hindus with Muslims and so on. So, if the fruits of economic development did not reach the broad masses of the population, it could create fresh divisions. For example, between the rich and the poor, between the cities and the countryside, between regions of India. Okay. So, what are the conflicts will occur if the unity and development had not to go hand in hand? Because various problem will occur. For example, between the rich and the poor, between the cities and the countryside, and between the regions of India. ஒரு ஸ்டேட் நல்ல ப்ராஸ்பரஸ் ஸ்டேட்டாக இருக்கும், ஒரு அதர் ஸ்டேட் ரொம்ப பேக்வேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்டாக இருக்கும். அந்த மாதிரியெல்லாம் இல்லாமல் ஈக்குவலாக ஆல் ஸ்டேட்ஸ் should be given equal importance. At the same time, the government will take steps to reduce poverty, right? So these are the problems will occur where there is unity and development. Okay. So what are the problems that the newly independent nation of India faced? The three problems that the newly independent nation of India faced, they are the problem of the rehabilitation of the 8 million refugees who had come into the country from newly born Pakistan. Then the problem of the princely states. There were almost 500 princely states, each ruled by a Maharaja or a Nawab, and each of them had to be persuaded to join the new nation. Then the new nation had to adapt a political system that would best serve the hopes and aspiration of the people. Okay. Now we are going to see about framing the constitution. Okay. See children, already we have learned about the Indian constitution, isn't it? Yes. So to frame the constitution, a constituent assembly was set up. Yes. So we have a written constitution which was adopted on 26th January 1950, isn't it? Yes. What are the features of our Indian constitution? One feature of the Indian constitution was that it adopted universal adult franchise, isn't it? Yes. All Indians above the age of 21, now 18, right? But initially they have kept the age limit 21. All Indians above the age of 18 would be allowed to vote in state and national elections. Then our constitution guarantees equality before the law to all citizens, irrespective of caste, creed, religion. Yes. Then the other feature is the constitution offered special privileges for the poorest and most disadvantaged Indians. So the evil practice of untouchability was abolished. Then Hindu temples were thrown open to all, including the former untouchables. Then after a long debate, the Constituent Assembly also recommended that a certain percentage of seats in legislatures as well as jobs in government be reserved for members of the lowest caste, including the Adivasis. Yes, we are having reserved seats for SC, ST and all, right? Scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Then our constitution clearly defined the powers and functions of the central and the state governments. Yes, it gave division of power in the form of 3 lists. One is a union list with subjects such as taxes, defense and foreign affairs, which would be the exclusive responsibility of the center. Yes, these 3 sectors will come under the central list because commonly defense, பாதுகாப்புத்துறை, then வெளியுறவுத்துறை, then taxes, these are very important subjects, so that it is under the union list. Then some subjects like education and health, which would be taken care of mainly by the states. Yes, these health and education will come under the state. Then third is the concurrent list. It regards which both the center and the states have joint responsibility. Some subjects such as forest and agriculture are coming under concurrent list. Okay, so there are 3 lists are there. One is central list, then state list, then concurrent list. Okay, so in this way the constitution established a federal type of government, and also it divides the power of the state and center. Okay, so it provided 3 lists of subjects. Already I have told you the union list, then that is also known as center list, then the second one is state list, and the third one is concurrent list. So in this concurrent list, the subjects which are coming under the concurrent list will be joint responsibility of center and state. Okay. Now we are going to see how were states to be formed. See children, back in the 1920s, the Indian National Congress, the main party of the freedom struggle, had promised that once the country won independence, each major linguistic group would have its own province. அதாவது மொழிவாரி மாநிலமாக பிரிக்கப்படும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க. In 1920s இந்த இந்தியன் நேஷனல் காங்கிரஸ் gave an assurance. However, after independence, the Congress did not take any steps to honor this promise. for India had been divided on the basis of religion. Despite the wishes and efforts of Mahatma Gandhi, freedom had come not to one nation but to two. So, as a result of the partition of India, more than a million people had been killed in riots between Hindus and Muslims. அதாவது இந்தியா பாகிஸ்தான் பிரிவினை வந்தபோது பாகிஸ்தானில் இருக்கிற ஹிந்துஸ் இந்தியாவுக்கு வர்றப்போ இந்தியாவில் இருக்கிற முஸ்லிம்ஸ் பாகிஸ்தான் போகிறப்போ அந்த ஒரு கலவரத்தில் ரைட் மீன்ஸ் கலவரத்தில் நியர்லி மில்லியன் பீப்புள் had been killed. So our leaders did not want to witness the same problem again, but the Kannada speakers, Malayalam speakers, the Marathi speakers had all looked forward to having their own state. So the strongest protest, however, came from the Telugu speaking states of which was the Madras Presidency. When Nehru went to campaign there during the general elections of 1952, he was met with black flags and slogans demanding, "We want Andhra, we want Andhra." So in October of that year, a veteran Gandhian named Potti Sriramulu went on a hunger strike demanding the formation of Andhra state to protect the interest of Telugu speakers. So as the fast went on, it attracted much support. Hartals and bunds were observed in many towns. So மலையாளம் இந்த மாதிரி கன்னடம் மலையாளம் மராத்தி ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸ் எல்லாம் அவங்கவுங்களுக்கான ஓன் ஸ்டேட் வேணும்னு டிமாண்ட் பண்ணாங்க. அதில் தெலுங்கு ஸ்பீக்கிங் டிஸ்ட்ரிக் ஆந்திர பிரதேஷ்லேருந்து இந்த பொட்டி ஸ்ரீராமுலு அவர் வந்து ஒரு காந்தியன் ஃபாலோயர்ஸ். அவர் வந்து எங்களுக்கு ஆந்திராக்காக வேண்டி ஆந்திரா ஸ்டேட் வேணுங்கிறதுக்காக வேண்டி ஃபாஸ்டிங் ஹங்கர் ஸ்ட்ரைக் உண்ணாவிரதம் இருந்தார். So he got more support from the people. So for that hardals, bunds, இதெல்லாம் ஸ்ட்ரைக் இதெல்லாம் நடந்தது. So at last on 15th December 1952, 58 days into his fast, Potti Sriramulu died. So what happened? At last 58 days he kept fasting. At last he died. As a newspaper put it, the news of the passing away of Sriramulu engulfed entire Andhra in chaos. ஆந்திரா ஃபுல்லாக ஒரே கலவரமாக மாறி ஆந்திரா ஃபுல்லாக கலவரம் பரவிடுச்சு. ஸோ த ப்ரொட்டஸ்ட் வேர் ஸோ வைட் ஸ்ப்ரெட், எல்லாம் ரொம்ப எல்லா இடத்துங்களையும் பரவிடுச்சு. Thus, on 1st October 1953, the new state of Andhra came into being, which subsequently became Andhra Pradesh. So, Andhra Pradesh was created in the year 1st October 1953. Okay. Then, after the creation of Andhra, what happened? Other linguistic communities also demanded their own separate states. Yeah, after seeing this Andhra Pradesh, Malayalam, Marathi people, Tamil speaking, every state demanded their own separate states. So, a states reorganization commission was set up. மாநிலங்களில் திருத்தி அமைக்கிறத ஒரு கமிஷனை செட்டப் பண்ணாங்க, which submitted its report in 1956. Recommending the redrawing of district and provincial boundaries to form compact provinces of Assamese, Bengali, Oriya, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannadam and Telugu speakers respectively. Okay. So when did the new state of Andhra Pradesh came into existence? The new state of Andhra Pradesh came into existence on 1st October 1953. Isn't it? Yes. Then a little year later, in 1960, the bilingual state of Bombay was divided into separate states for Marathi and Gujarati speakers. So which state of Bombay was divided for Marathi and Gujarati speakers? Bilingual state of Bombay was divided into separate states for Marathi and Gujarati speakers. Isn't it? Yes. Then in 1966, the state of Punjab was also divided into Punjab and Haryana. See, Chandigarh is the capital city of Punjab and Haryana. I hope you all have known, right? Then the former for the Punjab speakers, mostly they are Sikhs, right? The later for the rest who spoke, uh, generally they won't speak Punjabi, but various versions of Punjabi language. Okay, in fact Hindi also they will speak. In this way, Punjab was divided into Punjab and Haryana. Got it? Now we are going to see about the planning for development. Okay? See children, already we have discussed in the earlier chapters how the British exploited Indian economy, how they ruined trade and handicrafts industry, and how they drained India's wealth, isn't it? Yes. They left the economy in shambles. Like political freedom has in fact no meaning without economic strength, right? அவங்க போகிறப்ப எக்கனாமிக் கண்டிஷன் ரொம்ப புவராக இருந்தது. ஈவன் தோ we get independence, even though we got political freedom, but it is no meaning without economic strength, right? So unity and development had to go hand in hand, already I have told you. So in order to reach the economic development, the Indian government set up the Planning Commission in 1950 and entrusted it with the task of planning for the country. So in order to develop the economic condition, the Indian government set up the Planning Commission in which year? 1950. So what was the duty of that commission? See, they should plan how to develop our economy, right? So they took the responsibility and they framed many policies to develop our economic condition. Okay. So lifting India and the Indians out of poverty and building a modern technical and industrial base were among the major objectives of the Planning Commission. So the commission helped the government design and execute suitable policies for economic development. And also this Planning Commission, what did they do? They formulated 5-year plans. 5 திட்டங்கிறத அவங்க ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணாங்க. These plans also help the government in tackling the problems of poverty, unemployment and price rise. So in the 5 years plan, through this 5 years plan, the Indian government wants to tackle the problems of poverty, ஏழ்மை, வேலையில்லா திண்டாட்டம், unemployment and விலை உயர்வு, பொருட்களுடைய விலை உயர்வு, இது எல்லாத்தையும் டேக்கிள் பண்ணுறதுக்கான பிளான் பண்ணாங்க இந்த 5 ஆண்டு திட்டத்தில். It has adopted a mixed economy model in which the state and the private sector play important and complementary roles in increasing production and generating jobs. Then in the year 1956, the second 5-year plan was formulated. This second 5 years plan focused strongly on the development of heavy industries such as steel and on the building of large dams. So these sectors would be under the control of the state. And also this focus on heavy industry and the effort at state regulation of the economy was to guide economic policy for the next few decades. So this approach had many strong supporters as well as some vocal critics. Okay. It means நிறைய பேர் அதுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணாங்க, பட் இதுக்கு கிரிட்டிசைஸும் பண்ணாங்க, விமர்சனம் பண்ணவங்களும் உண்டு. ஓகே. See, now let me tell you about Miraben. Actually, Miraben was the daughter of a British admiral. Her real name was Madeline Shade. Actually, she left England to live and work with Mahatma Gandhi. So, she was staunch follower of Mahatma Gandhi ji. Then she devoted her life to human development, the advancement of Gandhiji's principles and to the freedom struggle. In fact, she was awarded the Padma Vibhushan in 1982. See, now we will see her view. Okay. See, Miraben wrote in 1949 by Science and Machinery, mankind may get huge returns for a time, but ultimately will come desolation. So we have got to study nature's balance and develop our lives within her laws. If we are to survive as a physically healthy and morally decent species, like that she told. See, in your book it is written the bridge on the Mahanadi river constructed to control the flow of water. Then in fact work going on at the Gandhi Sagar Bandh. It is in Chambal river in Madhya Pradesh. It was completed in 1960. These are the pictures have been given in your book. So you read that page also. See children, desolation means ரொம்ப வெறுமை ஆகிறது, ரொம்ப எம்டி ஆகிறது. Okay, so heavy industries இதெல்லாம் வந்தால் naturally pollution, it affects natural environment. So it will be the problem for mankind. Who told like that? Miraben. She was a follower of Mahatma Gandhi ji. Got it? Now we are going to see about the nation 60 years on. Okay. See children, on August 15, 2007, India celebrated 60 years of its existence as a free nation. So how has the country done in this time? We will see about that only. Actually, India is still united and that it is still democratic. Isn't it? Yes, India is a democratic country, right? So many foreign observers had felt that India could not survive as a single country, that it would break up into many parts with each region or linguistic group seeking to form a nation of its own. See, இந்தியா வந்து ஒரு சிங்கிள் கண்ட்ரியாக எக்ஸிஸ்ட் ஆக முடியாதுன்னு சொல்லி நிறைய பேர் சொன்னாங்க. பிகாஸ் லிங்குஸ்டிக் பேஸில் ஆல்ரெடி ஐ ஹவ் டோல்ட் யூ ஆன் த பேசிஸ் ஆஃப் லிங்குஸ்டிக் the states were framed, right? For example, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannadam speaking people demanded for their own state, isn't it? So after seeing that situation, many observers said that India can't survive, can't exist as a single country, but it would break up into many parts. Adella odachi India continues as a single nation, isn't it? Yes. So however, as 13 general elections have been had since independence. India independence vaangadhula 13 general elections it met, as well as hundreds of state and local elections. Yes, central elections, state and local panchayat elections also will be conducted 5 years once, isn't it? So there is a free press as well as an independent judiciary. See, these are the basic democratic features of our Indian Constitution. So our Indian Constitution guarantees our democratic rights, for example, freedom of speech, freedom of press and freedom of independent judiciary. So finally, that people speak different languages or practice different faiths has not come in the way of national unity. Even though people will speak many languages, if they follow many cultures and diversities, but it won't affect the nation's unity. Okay? But on the other hand, deep divisions persist means continue agadu. Though Dalits or the untouchables were guaranteed equality in the constitution, they still face violence and discrimination. Yes, do you agree? Yes, in many parts of rural areas all over the nation, Dalits are still not allowed to use water from the common source, in fact enter into temples, parks and other public places. See, not only this, despite the secular ideals in the constitution, there are clashes between different religious groups in many states. Even the inequality between rich and poor has grown over the years. Yes, there is rich and poor class, class divisions, as well as untouchables or discriminated. So these are still practiced in some parts of India. Okay. If you see, still some parts of India and some Indians have benefited from the economic development. So rich will be rich, poor will be poor, like that situation will be going on. So they lead generally rich class people lead a luxurious life, right? We know very well they used to live in big bungalows, and they used to send their children to expensive schools, etc. Isn't it? Yes. But at the same time, if you see in the poverty line people, they are for their day-to-day life also they will suffer a lot, isn't it? In fact, parents were not some parents are not able to fulfill their stomach itself, their children's stomach itself. So even they can't afford education for their children, isn't it? Yes. But according to the constitution, everyone is equal in the eyes of law. But in reality, some Indians are more equal than others. Yes. Do you agree? Yes. If you see in day to day, yeah, some people will get more privileges than others. நிறைய சலுகைகள் மற்றவங்களை விட அதிகமாகவே என்ஜாய் பண்ணுவாங்க. In fact, we can conclude that the Republic of India has not been a great success, but it has not been a failure either. Isn't it? Yes. So, children, who was the first Prime Minister of independent India? Jawaharlal Nehru, right? See, in your book, if you see, the Bilal steel plant has been given. This Bilal steel plant was set up with the help of the former Soviet Union in 1959, actually located in the backward rural area of Chhattisgarh. It came to be seen as an important sign of the development of modern India after independence. Okay, so the Bilal steel plant was set up with the help of which country? Former Soviet Union, USSR. Okay, so in which year it was set up? In the year 1959. Okay. Okay children, let me tell you about important fact. Actually, Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India. Along with that, he took over the foreign ministry also. So, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru was also the foreign minister of newly independent India. And who was the deputy Prime Minister of the independent India? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Okay, so these are the facts, you should not forget it. Okay. Okay children, I hope you all understood this chapter clearly. Thank you.